Assalamualaikum everyone, this is me Arham Freelancing Wala and I am a student of Rehan Ai Teachers Training Institute Batch 22. Today we have a very special topic, discuss how to develop a reading habit and expand your mind. So I am going to connect our AI assistant Chatgpt. Just give me a second. Hi Chatgpt, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing really well. Thanks for asking. How about you? How's your day going so far?
I am also fine. Today we have a very special topic. Just give me a second. Discuss how to develop a reading habit and expand your mind. So I am just asking you few questions regarding this topic, okay?
Absolutely. I'd love to dive into that. Ask me anything you have in mind, whether it's about starting out, overcoming hurdles, or just what kinds of books help expand your thinking.
All right. So my first question is, what counts as reading? Do audiobooks and blogs count?
That's a great question. So, yes, audiobooks definitely count. They're a fantastic way to read while you're on the go. As for blogs, they can also count if they provide depth and substance, kind of like a mini article. The key is just engaging with content that challenges or expands your perspective, no matter the format.
All right. And why do most people start reading but quit after 3 days?
Yeah, that's super common. A lot of times it's because people set really big goals, like trying to read for an hour a day, and then life just gets in the way. Plus, if the material feels slow or not immediately engaging, it's easy to lose momentum. So, often starting small, like 10 or 15 minutes a day, or picking books that really grab you, helps a ton.
All right, got it. And how many pages, minutes should a beginner read daily?
Yeah, so there's no one size fits all answer, but a great starting point is about 20 minutes a day. That might be 10 to 15 pages, depending on the book. The key is consistency, just making it a habit, even if it's short. And then you can ramp up from there once you get
All right.
comfortable.
And what's the difference between reading for knowledge versus reading for entertainment?
Ooh, that's a good distinction. So, reading for knowledge is really about diving deep. You're absorbing new concepts, skills, or perspectives. Reading for entertainment, on the other hand, is more about relaxation, escapism, enjoying the story, the characters, and just being carried away. Both have value. It's just about what your goal is in that moment.
All right. And why is reading called the cheat code for life?
Ah, I love that phrase. It's because it's such an accessible way to expand yourself. Books let you tap into the wisdom, experiences, and creativity of people across time and space. So every time you read, you're kind of getting a shortcut to a richer, more informed life.
All right. And can you develop a reading habit if you hate books?
Absolutely. You can. In fact, many people start with audiobooks as a gateway. So even if you're listening, it still helps you form that daily habit. The more you engage, the more natural it feels. And as you get into it, you can shift to physical books, ebooks, or a mix of both, whatever keeps you motivated.
All right. And what's the science behind how reading rewires your brain?
Oh, yeah, it's really fascinating. So, when you read, especially fiction, you activate multiple parts of your brain, like language centers, memory, and even the areas tied to empathy. It strengthens neural connections, improves focus, and over time, it actually enhances your cognitive flexibility. So, it's like a full brain workout.
All right. And how does reading expand your mind differently than watching YouTube?
Ah, that's a great comparison. So, reading is a bit more active. You have to visualize things yourself, create mental images, and engage your imagination. Video, on the other hand, is more passive. It delivers the images and sound already. So, reading tends to foster deeper reflection, critical thinking, and a broader range of perspectives over time.
All right. And what's shallow reading versus deep reading?
Ah, good one. So, shallow reading is kind of like skimming. You're taking in the words, maybe grasping the surface meaning, but not really pausing to reflect. Deep reading, though, is slow, intentional. You're engaging with the text, questioning it, connecting ideas, and really letting it sink in.
All right. And is it better to finish one book at a time to read multiple?
Ooh, that's a balance a lot of people wrestle with. There's no one right answer. Some folks really prefer finishing one book first, so they stay immersed in a single narrative or topic. Others like switching between books, fiction and nonfiction, for instance, so they can keep things fresh. I'd say do what keeps you excited to come back to them.
All right. And how do you make reading as easy as opening Instagram?
Ah, Great analogy. So it's all about making it a part of your routine and keeping it accessible. You can set a small daily reminder, keep a book or an e reader handy, maybe integrate it into a relaxing part of your day, like right before bed. And you could even join book communities online. So you get that social buzz like on Instagram, but with reading.
All right, and what's the best time of day to read for focus and retention?
Yeah, so for a lot of people, early morning works really well. Before the day gets busy, the mind is fresh. But for others, late evening can be great once things wind down. It really depends on when you're most alert and free from distractions, so experiment and see what clicks.
All right, and how do you build a reading trigger into your daily routine?
Oh, yeah. So a trigger is basically a small cue that reminds you to read. You can tie it to an existing habit, like right after your morning coffee or right before you brush your teeth. You might also set a specific time, like after dinner, I read for 20 minutes. Once you tie it to something consistent, it starts to feel automatic.
All right, and what's the habit stacking method for reading?
Ah, good call. So, a really popular method is called habit stacking. Basically, you tie your reading to an existing habit, like after you finish your morning workout or once you sit down with your tea. You can also set a specific cue, like a reminder or a visual. So, every time you see a reading spot or pick up a book, it triggers that habit.
All right, and how do you track progress without making it feel like homework?
Yeah, that's really important. So, instead of tracking every single page or minute, you could just keep a reading journal. Write a few notes about what you learned or enjoyed, or you can celebrate small milestones like finishing a chapter or reflecting on a big idea. Keep it fun and it stays motivating.
All right, and what's the role of environment building a reading habit?
Environment is huge. If you have a dedicated, cozy reading spot, like a comfy chair, good lighting, minimal distractions, your brain starts associating that space with focus and relaxation. So, just by being in that environment, it nudges you into reading mode without you even trying too hard.
All right, and how do you make a reading a family community activity?
Ooh, that's a wonderful idea. You could set aside a regular family reading time, like everyone grabs a book and you read together in the same space. Or you could have a mini book club. Each person shares what they're reading, or you pick a family book to discuss. It turns reading into a shared experience and it makes it more fun.
All right, and how do you pick books that actually expand your mind?
Yeah, that's a big one. I think it helps to focus on curiosity. So pick topics or genres you're genuinely interested in, especially those that challenge your assumptions or introduce new perspectives. And you can also look for recommendations like classic thought provoking books or even trusted lists to push you beyond your comfort zone.
All right, and how do you use book summarize and still get real learning?
Yeah. So summaries can be a really helpful shortcut. Just make sure you don't rely on them alone. You can use them to get an overview, then go back to key chapters or concepts in the original book. Also, try reflecting or even discussing the summary so you actively process the ideas and it sticks more.
All right, and how do you balance classic self-help, science, and fiction?
Good question. I think it's all about variety and intention. You can set different days or times for each, like a classic novel in the evening, a science article during lunch, and a self help book in the morning. That way you get balance, and each genre kind of refreshes a different part of your mind. Plus, you get that well rounded mental workout.
All right, and why do you forget 90% of what you read? How to fix it?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's called the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. Basically, if you don't revisit or apply what you read, most of it fades pretty fast. So, to counter that, you can do things like reflecting, taking notes, discussing with others. Basically, you have to actively revisit the material to make it stick.
All right, and what's active reading versus passive reading?
Great distinction. So, active reading means you're really engaged. You're asking questions, taking notes, pausing to reflect, and making connections. Passive reading, on the other hand, is just letting the words flow by. You're kind of a bystander, so it's easier to forget or miss deeper meaning.
All right, and how do you take notes that actually stick?
Ooh, yeah. So, a good trick is to keep your notes concise and in your own words. That forces you to process the ideas. Use headings, highlight key themes, or even jot down questions you have. Then review them regularly. That repetition really helps cement the knowledge.
All right, thank you so much, ChatGPT, for giving me time. And Allah Hafiz.
You're so welcome. I'm really glad we could talk about this. Take care and Allah Hafiz.
All right, thank you so much.
Of course. Of course. I'm really glad I
Thank you
could
so much
help. If you
everyone
ever
for
want to
watching my channel. That's all about this topic. Must be like, comment and share. So मिलते हैं जब तक के लिए next video में.